What's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to show you guys how to get this great 4-man pressure without having to hover in Madden 25. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn those post notifications on. So I am in the multiple defensive playbook. Again, I'm in the multiple defensive playbook. Now I do want to say I appreciate you guys for still rocking with me. Like I said, I know I haven't been uploading a lot, but I am working to kind of pump out more content. So if you're here, if you're new, drop a like on the video. And also I truly appreciate my OGs, man. Y'all have a place in my heart, man, for real. So anyways, I kind of want to explain what this is. So basically it's going to be a 4-man pressure where you can call it from either side. The blitz works versus the left or the right, but it's more glitchier on the left, and it only takes one adjustment. Actually, technically two. One or two adjustments. Normally just one to come in, but two if you want to guarantee it, like make it more consistent, I should say. So without further ado, man, I want to get into this, and I have gameplay to show you on top of this, so I want to hurry up and kind of talk about this. But first of all, as you can tell, we're going to be in the nickel 3-3, so you just want to make sure your best 3 pass rushers are in. Pretty self-explanatory. And right here, you just want to put your fastest players here. So in case of the Falcons, he has like 91 speed. He has like 87, and this guy has like 90 or 91, something like that. So that's why I have him in there. So just, you know, whoever your fastest guys are, just put them in there, pretty standard. But I do want to say, so as far as audibles or as far as coaching adjustments, I'm gonna start off with it on off just to show you from one side, and then I'll flip it and then just show you from the other side, just to make it a little bit easier. Now I will do normally I like to start off with my curl flats at 5 and then my flats at 25, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to be out of the 3 double buzz, okay? 3 double buzz. Now just for formations, doesn't really matter what we run. It works versus anything, but some formations it's a little bit glitchier. So like for compression sets, you may want to run it away from the bunch, like away from wherever the compression is. And I'll mention that on gameplay. You'll see that, and I'll talk about it as it happens. But we'll come out something pretty standard. So we'll take a look at versus normal Y off, and we'll just go against just something stick slot option just because. All right. So when you call this, if you don't flip it, it's gonna come out on this side. So there's one adjustment you want to do that's mandatory, and that's sliding your linebacker. So you want to shift your linebacker to the blitzing side. So I see him on the left, so I'm just going to simply shift him to the left. Now, you can technically run it like this, but if you run it stock like this, sometimes it doesn't come in. It's a hit or miss, because sometimes you want to play around with the adjustments as far as your coverage shell, and I'll mention that in a second. But you'll help you out. All the gameplay, I'll remind you, it's nothing but stock, just like this. That's all, the only adjustment I did. But it does work another way. So if I run it this way, you'll see what I mean. So notice how he doesn't like loop. In a sense, he's gonna loop. If you notice, like I said, we didn't get the loop. So we'll go and shift them again. Now I'll run it one more time without making any other adjustment, just so you can kind of see. So in this case, notice he kind of started to loop, but he didn't loop. So it's not as consistent. Now to make it a little bit more consistent, and also this is all Madden practice mode, so that's why, you know, it's a little bit harder on all Madden practice mode. But to make it consistent, you just want to slant your line to the blitzing side. So I see him blitzing from the left, so I'm going to slant my defensive line to the left. So see how now my defensive line slanted there? So when I do this, it makes it a little bit more consistent. So you see how he kind of got that little speed boost loop animation? That's exactly what you're looking for. And I notice when you do it that way, when you slant him to the blitzing side, your defensive line, the loop is more consistent. So notice how basically he kind of goes, but he runs into him. That normally doesn't happen, but this is like a wild card blitz. Like there's just so many different variables that affect the blitz, but it's just good pressure in general. So most of the time he's going to actually kind of redirect himself and actually attack the quarterback, and you'll see in a second. But there are times where he kind of dumbs out and runs to the lineman, or there's some times where if you slant your line, what I find is if you slant your line, they don't really get glitchy animations, but if you leave them stock, the defensive line will get glitchy animations, and we'll talk about that all throughout gameplay. But again, I'm just going to kind of show you. So if you want to guarantee that pressure, just go ahead and slant your line, and he's going to loop every time. So that's kind of what you're looking for right there. But he's actually not going to be able to touch him on a lot of these reps that you'll see. So show you again one more time, and again I'm just kind of going over so you see the pattern of the loop. At that time right there, he kind of got caught up, but We'll do it one more time, then I'll switch sides, and then I'll talk about the coverage shell real quick, and then we'll get into gameplay. So sadly, it's not one of those things that if you want to make it more consistent, you probably can just hover and find somewhere to hover. But I don't like to hover every time, and this isn't like an every down defense. It's like a switch up. So notice that little speed boost animation, and like I said, since it's all Madden practice mode, they just aren't letting them get through. And I did notice that speed matters right here. So if you have somebody very, very fast, he'll be able to kind of loop and redirect. I think it's play recognition, but as you can tell, he kind of got caught up, but it just doesn't happen that way every time. So I'm gonna turn on auto flip, and I'm gonna go against random formation just so I can kind of tell you about that, and then we'll talk about coverage real quick, and then we'll go ahead and hop into gameplay. So we're gonna go back there. Still forgot to do random coverage, so hold on. So we'll basically, I want to kind of show you just so that way it's more consistent. So we'll turn auto flip on real quick, and then we'll go back to 3 double buzz just so we can go to any side, and we'll actually come out against a random play here. So make sure it's not running the ball. Okay, cool. So notice we was on the left. So just for general coverage shell that I like, if it's a trip side, I always like going opposite the strength whenever I do my hard flat, because remember we have our flats at 25. So see how I got my strength over here with the 3 receivers. So most of the time people don't run flood routes to the strength side. Normally they run it away from the strength, like the routes would run, like they'll flood away from it. So to combat that, I'll take circle, put him on a curl flat, and I'll basically cover 2, basically the weak side, if that makes sense. I'll play cover 2 on that side, keep my hard flat over here that's at 5, and then I will take the strong side safety and put him in the inside third basically. And I will take my user and I will put him in the hook zone. So basically these two are flipped. I know it's glitching out right now, but basically they're flipped. Okay, so in other words, I like this as a switch stick style coverage. I don't have to user anywhere, and that's the animation we're looking for, that right there. So that's what it mostly looks like. Sorry, we're 6 minutes into the video and it's just now giving a good example. And I didn't slant my line at all I did was shift them to the left, and this is most of the time what the animation looks like. So like I said, it just, for some reason, formations matter. I haven't got it down to a science yet, but I can tell you that, and we'll talk about it during gameplay, that formations matter a lot on this. Any type of trip set, yeah, this will happen just about every time. So trips tight end, trade wide flex, any of those type of formations, they just do a great job of looping, as you can tell. And the coverage shell behind it, like I said, I mean, you're sending a lot of people out in coverage. You can kind of tell how the 5 plays, kind of baits it underneath the this is why I like playing the strong side flats, that way, I'm in the weak side, so that way he can kind of sit under those routes, and then your users in the middle, you know, curl flat right here. Normally this is normally how it looks, and you'll see that even in gameplay. So again, this is just, I didn't do anything, all I did was slant the line, right? So we'll slant them to the left again. I was trying to get a right side, so even versus play action, you can run it now. Versus play action, I'm just gonna call let's just do the same cover shell, so that way you guys can see. So this is how I'll probably call a cover shell. I'm just watching out for this side and the flats, and I'm looking to switch stick, if that makes sense. So look over here. So as you can tell, he doesn't come through, but look at the pass rush, and normally your coverage is going to be able to help you out a whole lot. So just one more thing, finally we got one of this side. So again, we'll do it this way. Now versus these type of formations, any type of bunch, I normally like to man up the middle guy, and then I'll take triangle, put him on the inside third. Now I know you're looking at this guy right here, number 6. So that's just kind of who I'm looking at right here. So I'll do it this way, or I'll run it like this, where I call it this type of coverage shell versus it. And now I'm just gonna play here, and sometimes I'll take square and just go ahead and put him kind of in that hook zone if I'm that worried about it. And then I'll start here and I'll kind of lurk all the way across here looking to switch stick. So these are just my favorite cover shells when it comes to it. I did forget to actually call a pass, but it also has pretty good run defense in it too. So sadly, I'm not getting any good examples that I want, so I'll show you this just one more cover shell right here. So let's make sure they are passing the ball. They were running the ball, so let's see. Let's go with 4 verticals just because. All right, so like I said, boom, you can tell the pressure comes through, and that's just why I like this defense, man. So sorry, like I said, I only got 2 great examples, but as you can tell, it's literally one of the things that's random, but you get great pass rush even if it doesn't come in. And like I said, this is normally what you see, and the left side is just the most glitchy, so you can really just get away with this if you want to just call it only to the left. But in the gameplay, you're gonna see how it works versus the left and right. So let's go ahead and go check that out. All right, so right here, this is gonna be a full gameplay, and then after this game, it's just basically bits and pieces of other games, just because I didn't want to make this like a 20-something minute gameplay video. So wanted to just show you this game just because I sat in this defense the whole entire time. Now, I kind of don't recommend this. You just sit in this one defense, but it is a great defense because it is nickel 3-3, so it's a pretty even formation. You're always gonna have 6 in the box, so it's okay versus the run. Because, you know, they have 5 linemen, so, or a tight end might make 6, so it's an okay formation to kind of defend the run, and you don't have to hover with this particular setup, which is why it's pretty effective. So you can basically use it who you want to. And right here, as you can tell, he is going to throw it to our flat, so we have a guy there, which is why I like that curl flat at 5, and then we are going to get the pick 6. So like I said, the great thing about this defense is if you have some pass rushers, like at least one dominant pass rusher, then this defense is actually great, because a lot of times that one pass rusher is going to be very glitchy. And again, like I said, all this gameplay you're seeing, I didn't slant the line any. So this is just standard defensive line, you know, just shifting your linebackers to the right. And you can tell, so this is the cover shot I was showing you versus a bunch. And you kind of see how it plays. Like I said, got a little switch stick, and that's how I like to do this. If I notice they're trying to run a flood concept, I'll just switch over to the curl flat, and normally I like to leave that mid read, so that way it can kind of sink under those dig routes to kind of get more help. So right here, look at the loop, and then he actually blocked his running back, which actually helped out. And normally we'll have the numbers when that happens, but unfortunately he does find a great dot, and he does move the chains. But as you can tell, that pressure came from the right side, and I love this defense because the setup is so simple. Look at that. Look how he just looped right there. And this is why I like showing you gameplay more than anything, because practice mode, if you guys haven't figured out, which most of you have already, practice mode plays a lot different when you get in actual games. Even if you play an actual game on all Madden, and then you go to practice mode still acts a little different than the actual game. So that's why I'm so heavy on gameplay. That's why I love showing you guys gameplay, and I make it a little longer so you can see it, and I can actually get it, you know, down to it. So right here was definitely my fault. I was trying to be greedy. I was trying to get the animation where like you pick it and you turn around immediately, but I mistimed it by a little bit, and unfortunately that cost me a touchdown. So again, right here we are going to be able to make up for it though. Got a great little switch stick pick right there, and we did end up scoring off of that. So now we are back on defense, and again, watch the right side, so kind of watch him loop. That time he gets blocked, but then look at who else loops, and then by that time we are going to be able to get the lurk right there for the pick 6. So this defense, like I said, is just crazy because there's just like I can play man coverage, I can man up people if I want to, because the setup is so simple. It's just one setup. 2 if you want to kind of guarantee pressure. So right there, great little dot by him. But if you want to guarantee yourself pressure, man, just slant your defensive line to wherever you're blitzing. So if I'm shifting them left, I'm going to slant my defensive line left, even though, like I said, you're not going to notice me doing that. Look how that loop came in, but unfortunately, the running back did block, and he did find him a nice dot. That was my area of the field that I should have been, and he does go a little crazy, making my user look a little crazy, but good game by my opponent right there. So anyways, this is going to be 1st and 10 for him. I accidentally got caught on my defensive lineman, but still, look at the loop. And like I said, man, what do you do when you don't even have to hover for this 4-man? So I know there is the meta right now where you can make a 3-man blitz, just touching the left guard. But the problem with that is you leave yourself open for a lot of other plays because you have to hover. And as you can tell, I'm not hovering at all. And look at the pressure, man. I could use a safety if I want to. I can go out and play around with a corner if I want to. There's just so much freedom in this defense, and it's just one setup. Now, personally, I like using that middle linebacker just personally because it helps out on the run when they run it. And my opponent right there is going to find a nice dot. And that's why I was telling y'all I really love to actually put my hard flat, aka my 25-yard flat, to, well, opposite the strength. The strong side, not the strength. But anyway, sometimes you can get away with not putting a deep half there, a middle third, just for that reason. But like if I'm doing this, I would want to put my right now, I probably would want to put my flood concept, like to try to beat it to the left, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to switch stick how I wanted to, and we do give up a big game. But my opponent is going to hurry up, and it's just a good example of how fast you can set this up. Now, while I got y'all right here, notice how the compression is to the right side. I would actually want to flip this blitz and run it to the other side, but it's mainly because of that reason right there. As you can tell, he just doesn't get through how you want him to. And I have auto flip on for this whole time, and I just base my setup off of where he's lined up at. And I'm glad my opponent ran it right there just so you can see kind of how the run defense plays. It's actually pretty good run defense, especially if they run I don't know which type of run plays. I haven't used it that much to be able to tell you what run plays. There are some run plays where when he loops, he'll actually loop right into the running back. I think it might be 0-1 traps is where it happens at, but he's definitely glitchy in that part. So 4 for 1, you also can run it this way where you actually make him kind of play that A gap, and sometimes you can kind of get a little glitchy animation where you get a run shoot with your user. But notice right here with the right side how there's that compression. Basically 87, 14, and 17 are right next to each other. This is when it doesn't work that good. Notice that he doesn't get a loop animation. That's normally how that goes. So if you notice that, just understand he probably won't get through. And again, you really shouldn't be calling this every play, but this is a defense where you can get away with, like, if you just want to call this, I'd recommend mixing in another blitz with this. I put out another video, another cover 3 style blitz, and also there's a man blitz out of this, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But man, look at that heat, man. You see how that guy just screamed right there? It's just, I don't know, it seems like it's more glitchier from the left. So you can really just, if you wanted to, you can just run this from the left side, but just understand that there's going to be some formations where you're going to be basically outnumbered on the strong side if you turn auto flip off. So you just want to be careful of that. If you're playing against somebody that's pass happy, then it's probably a good idea to keep auto flip on, because that way you can make sure you're even on both sides. But if they're not really trying to run pass the ball a lot, or they're not just the best passer, then I'd recommend just turning auto flip off and then just playing it, you know, on the left, if that makes sense. Because you also have the option to use your slot corner, so you have plenty options. But right here, 4 for 1. Don't know why he was going for the dot, but that is one thing you can do. You have to be aware of. If they are the scrambling type, I would recommend that you would put that middle linebacker right there, this Kendricks. I would put him in a spy, since normally that should be a safety there anyways. But it's just the Cowboys. They don't have, you know, very many athletic fast safeties, so that's why I got Kendricks in. But if you have a safety, I would like put him in a spy if you're playing against somebody who likes to just, you know, take off in the pocket or try to move the pocket to the outside. So that's another way you can you know, do that against your mobile style quarterbacks. But right here, look at him loop, man. Like I said, just look at the loop. It's just, you know, you can't really ask for better, because honestly, if you play this scheme right the way it's supposed to be played, your opponent won't really know when you're running pressure, especially if you turn auto flip on, because there's other blitzes, there's other 4-man blitzes out of this formation. So for example, you can do a 4-man man blitz, basically, where you can do, it looks the same, but you're actually playing man coverage and you're blitzing from a whole different person from a different side. So it's just crazy what you can do from this nickel 3-3, which is why I don't really understand why it's not meta no more. I understand that they nerfed this formation just because, you know, it was very glitchy in the beginning of the year, but most people don't understand that it's still pretty glitchy now, as you can tell. So anyways, right there, he kind of throws that. I understand why he threw it, but you just can't throw that close in the end zone, and we are going to take it. And I don't know how Bland got hawked this bad. I thought he was pretty fast, but anyways, great game to my opponent right there. So like I said, from this point, it's just going to be basically about 2 minutes worth of just kind of showing you kind of different plays and how the loop comes in, because I want y'all to be able to see how it comes in. Is right there. I remember this play. I don't know how did they give me that pick, man. That was crazy. But notice where it's coming from, the left side. And the setup, like I said, very simple. There's different cover shells you can run right here. So right here I decided to run a true cover 3, because you can also call just a true, just general cover 3. And look at the pass rush right there. Although the blitz didn't come through how we wanted to, but the pass rush is what helped this play out a lot. So here we go right here. So I couldn't get my shell right, so I got a crazy looking shell, but as you can tell, it didn't really matter because our loop is going to be able to come through. So I believe this is the last game that I have on here, and most of these games, the reason they're cut up like this, because I didn't use this defense every play, because you're not really supposed to. So I just wanted to go through and kind of filter through the plays where I actually called this defense. But like I said, if you notice, like I said, most of the pressure is just coming from this left side, and this is a cover shot I like too. It's pretty much like a cover 4 style, but you pretty much just want to man up the slot, and then I like to just kind of use either the purple or the hard flat in this type of play. So this one, I'm like literally the left side of the field's mine, but he didn't really run nothing to the left, so it gave me, you know, a bonus as far as being able to go to the right. So that's one of my favorite cover shells. And also I think I call it this play. So this is another one, like I said, it's just a very basic one, but it works really well, man. Right there, look at the loop, and we are going to be able to click on it, and we are going to be able to get the pick 6. So I believe that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I think I got one more play after this, and then that's going to wrap it up. Yep, so here's pretty much the last play for y'all. So again, the loop, although it gets blocked, it does enough to make him throw it early. which is gonna let us be able to capitalize and get the pick 6. We are gonna get the pick 6. So anyways, y'all, I truly appreciate you guys. So man, if you enjoyed this, drop a like on it. And if you like this type of content, let me know. I'm debating on doing MUT just to kind of, you know, switch it up a little bit. But if y'all are interested in that, let me know. I just don't like the pay to win stuff, so that's why I've stepped away for a long time. But I may try to find time to grind a little bit. But anyways, man, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video, though. I truly appreciate you guys, and I pray you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.